Coming up on today's show, we are exploring the great town of Huron.
So we're going kayaking, we're doing some shopping, and of course, we're eating, plus a whole lot more. It is a perfect summer destination.
And it all starts right now. Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I'm David Moss. No trip to Huron is complete without a little time spent by the water. You can walk the pier or relax on one of 3 local beaches.
We are sitting on what is known as the former Showboat property. It's a city-owned property that we acquired several years ago. It's actually a restaurant that was in the shape of an actual old boat, but now we've reinvented that in this great public space where we've got green space, public beach, and this really serves as the entrance to our Huron Lighthouse and our Huron Pier. And then behind me is Lakefront Park, which is another one of our regionally renowned parks and beaches, which makes Huron such a great place to come visit and live. It's about a 5 to 10 minute walk along the pier. You can't actually physically get to the lighthouse, but you can get about halfway there, 3/4 of the way there. Then we've also got a federally owned spoils site, which is actually a site that dredged material from the river and the lake are poured into, but you can actually access that site as well, which is filled with great recreational trails, beautiful views of the water, views of the city once they get out there, and just to see the nature that has grown and transformed that site is such a great amenity for people looking for a leisurely walk and a nice sunset stroll in the city of Huron. We truly have regionally renowned beaches, and probably some of the beaches on the entire southern basin of Lake Erie. Again, behind me is Lakefront Park, which is publicly accessible 7 days a week. Obviously the beach here at the former Showboat property and entrance to the pier. But really the gem for Huron is what's known as Nickel Plate Beach, which is just to the east of us on city-owned property. And truly we get tens of thousands of visitors every summer to that park. With, again, beautiful vistas of the lake and crystal sand beaches right on the shores of Lake Erie. It truly is a gem for the city of Huron. Lakefront Park, what's so great about it is not only do we have a great beach, but it's such a great programmed space in terms of having green space, in terms of having playgrounds, public restroom facilities, and that really is one of our biggest and most important public spaces in terms of activation of events. We have a lot of festivals, we have farmers markets, and what's great is the entrance to that park is through a historic neighborhood known as Old Platte, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods of the city of Huron. So just accessing the park and driving through all these historic houses and historic streets is a great grand entrance to that park. Right behind us, we sort of have a basin right off, again, the shores of this property and Lakefront Park. I mean, every day in the summer and certainly on weekends, we'll have hundreds of boats anchored out, and really the water only comes up to about an adult's waist. So it's just a great place to get kids out on the water, to get adults in the water walking around, and because of how it's shielded by the spoils site and the beaches, it really never gets really wavy, and really is a great place to just sit around and relax on a raft and get out and walk around and enjoy the water in a safe space. The city is 7,000 folks, which seems small and quaint and again has a feel of a traditional lakefront, waterfront community, but I really don't think Huron's traditional at all. We really do have regionally renowned beaches in terms of number and quantity and size. We've got an amazing system of interconnected bike trails and multimodal paths that span you from the east side of the city to the west side of the city. We really do have an emerging downtown, so we're starting to get new businesses pop up, small businesses, and a lot of amenities on that main street that make people want to live here, that make people want to send their kids to school here, and certainly visit here in the summer, which is really what becomes a popular attraction, to have this nice burgeoning main street, plus the recreation, plus the waterfront access.
To make your visit easier, you'll find a whole lot of public parking options around the city. And if you need help planning your visit to the beaches or see what events are coming soon, just visit the City of Huron online.
No trip to Huron would be complete without a little shopping, of course. So we are heading to a mom and pop shop owned by a husband and wife and inspired by their love of boating. This is Beagle Bay Knotworks.
Beagle Bay Knotworks started out with a bracelet. The hand-tied cotton nautical bracelet. I told my husband every summer you would get a bracelet and have it tied on your wrist, and then the night before you went to school you had to cut it off, and it was ratty and dirty and ugly. And he made a bracelet for me exactly like that with a clasp so that I could take it off. We're sailors by trade, knots on boats. The decorative side of it actually originated out of necessity and boredom from mariners centuries and centuries ago. So all of our knots have a story. And so we've just taken those ancient marlin spike knots and brought them into the 21st century. Cord and rope, truly natural products. We love working with natural cotton, manila, which is abaco banana tree fiber. We try to source everything made in the United States, but of course we're not growing banana trees in the United States, so the manila comes from a US supplier. We do dabble a little bit in nylon simply out of necessity for dock lines. Imagination makes it limitless. So obviously our jewelry products, nautical themed bracelets, but then we went into the home decor stuff. So it started with mats, and then we were able to take knots that you find commonly in a ship's bell rope and explode those in larger and different dimensions to make our bowls. Key fobs, artwork, textile arts, the wreaths, it just keeps evolving. We have some amazing creatives in here with us, our maker friends, from small batch soaps, sea glass jewelry, graphic designers who are making cards for us, an amazing seamstress doing our pillows and our tea towels. It's not pom-poms and popsicle sticks anymore. The artists and creatives that we've got now are true talents, and we're so blessed to have so many like-minded folks have their things in here. The bracelet, I keep circling back to that bracelet. I mean, I can remember every summer having that bracelet tied on my wrist, and that's boating with my family. We have folks that bring their grandchildren in and they buy a little bracelet, or perhaps it's a sea glass card that came from Lake Erie beach glass, and they're making those memories. It's a quality piece. It reminds them of something special either happening today or a memory that's bringing back something from the past. It's unique. They're not going to find these things anywhere else but here.
Beagle Bay Knotworks is located right in the center of town on Main Street. And still to come here on New Day Cleveland, a Huron staple for sweet summer treats.
Pied Piper Drive-In is a delicious spot where people can go for ice cream. It's soft serve ice cream. We have milkshakes, big selection of hot food. We widened our menu, and it's just a great place to come for ice cream.
Helen and Ellsworth Piper are the original owners of the Pied Piper. They had it about 10 years. Then they sold the business to Carl Wechter and his family, and in 2003, Chris Wechter, the youngest of the Wechter family, bought the business with his wife and 2 kids, Corey and Connor. They ran the business for 20 plus years, and when they decided to retire, they offered it to my wife and I.
When we purchased it 3 years ago, we said, why not extend it? It's a popular spot. People are asking for better, better menu. So we definitely just widened the menu, got a brand new kitchen, and serving French fries now, burgers, and our famous shredded chicken is still on the menu. Our famous Sloppy Joe, our coney sauce is still the same, the original, as it was the previous owners. So some things have changed, and some is still the original. Famous nut dip, and that is ice cream, hard chocolate syrup, whole nuts, and ice cream, hard dip, and crushed nuts. We have a turtle sundaes, we have banana splits, we have all flurries, all the candies. It's just a wide variety. We have a new strawberry cheesecake crunch sundae.
One of the best things about this business is associating with the community. This place has been around 70 plus years. Between the pier and the lighthouse and the downtown areas really became
a staple of this community the last 10 years or so. There's been a lot of new things that have gone on here, and it's just a good, fun, safe place.
We miss everybody when September comes and it starts to wind down, and we're like, oh, where are the kids at? And now all the baseball teams are coming up, so Fabens packs them in with all their teams, and then they come here, you know, for their treat, and that's so cool, you know, to see them. And then at the end of the school year, St. Pete's across the street, they bring all their school kids over, and we treat them for their last day, you know, of school, and then they give us their little artwork that you see on the windows. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun when summer comes.
Here at the Pied, what we like to do is focus on family and children. That is our main goal here, is to have the kids here.
No matter when you decide to visit, the Pied Piper is open 7 days a week throughout the summer.
Get outside and explore Huron. At Sheldon Marsh, you'll be able to sit back and enjoy the sights and the sounds of nature.
Sheldon Marsh is a state nature preserve. It's part of the statewide preserve system. There are 141 across the state, and this is perhaps our finest local example. The state nature preserve system, the whole purpose is setting aside land, very important pieces of Ohio's natural history and areas of ecological importance. They may, and many of them contain very important habitats, and within those habitats, threatened and endangered species even. Once a piece of land is dedicated as a state nature preserve, that is the only use that land can serve in perpetuity, and it's essentially protected. The intention of our state parks instead is more geared towards recreation, for visitor recreation. There are recreational activities available at state nature preserves, but these are geared for low impact, low disturbance type activities, hiking, walking, bird watching. The amount of pavement there, the roadway, is really great for visitors in that it provides a fully accessible pathway through the entire forest, swamp, marsh, barrier beach, lake ecosystem. Throughout the preserve, there are some trails that go off of the pavement that traverse some of the woodlands, some of the old field habitat. So hiking is available, hiking opportunities there. As I mentioned, bird watching is a really big deal. At one point, it was figured to be the second most highly visited state nature preserve in Ohio. So a lot of visitors there. However, the place is very large. The preserve itself totals nearly 500 acres. There are plenty of opportunities, plenty of places within the preserve that a person can get away from the crowds if that's what they're seeking. One thing I just want our visitors to know is, once again, this place being a state nature preserve and not a park, the specific rules, particularly that pets aren't allowed. Bicycles, skateboards are not permitted. Swimming is not allowed either. There is something really important, an important part of the human condition to experience nature and be a part of it. I get asked sometimes like, hey, I don't know anything about ecology or these plant and animal species out here, so what would I do there? And I've found a person even with limited knowledge, limited background in this, just the experience of being surrounded by it. You don't necessarily need to understand everything and be able to identify every plant and animal species around you, but just the experience of being in it is certainly restorative.
Sheldon Marsh is located just west of town, and you can learn a whole lot more about all you can do there online. Coming up after the break, we're hitting the water in Huron. How about some fun and sightseeing on the water? From the river to the lake, you can do it all with the help of Lake Erie Adventures.
Lake Erie Adventure Company is a local company located in Huron on the Huron River. We specialize in kayak rentals with single kayaks, tandem kayaks, and different paddleboards that you can go out on the water for an hour or the whole day. Our location's great because we're right on Huron River, so you can take the river down to near like Route 2 area. You can go all the way out to Lake Erie and sit on one of the beaches and hang out for the day. But it's a great location for people that are beginning in kayaking and just want to go out for an hour, to people that want to, spend the whole day and go out into Lake Erie and, maybe are more advanced. Our outfitters are all trained to take someone that's a beginner out on the water. It can be any time of day. We do sunset tours in the evenings, which is kind of a group location, and we'll go out to Lake Erie and stuff like that and paddle out. You could be advanced or beginner, go ahead of us or stay with us the whole time, but we're really excited to be able to offer that. We do paddling lessons sometimes. It's all on our website and you can make appointments, and we have, different people that'll work with us and show people how to paddle from start all the way to finish. One of my favorites is we can paddle down and see, there's a huge patch of lily pads that you can see if you drive over the bridge of Huron River from Route 2. They're so beautiful when they bloom. We love to go down there and do like moonlight paddles and stuff like that, but it's really awesome to be able to, you can reach down and touch them if you want to. It's just a nice area. Going all the way over to Lake Erie, you can just hang out on the beaches and stuff like that. I think it's pretty unique because not everyone, is so against the water like Huron is. So, our coast is really nice and we could fully take advantage of it with all of our equipment. People have a perception that you're going to get wet and it takes all day, but honestly, sometimes I'm running around all day long doing my different things, but I might take an hour or two with my friends and just hop in and, my regular clothes, and I can just go out there for an hour or two. And it's just relaxing, It's a workout that doesn't really feel like a workout.
We actually run about 40 vacation homes in the area. We have houses that you can rent by the day or by week that we partner with local owners in the area. This is actually an entire camp area, so we have a home and 2 cabins that we rent. It's actually right on the site of Lake Erie Adventure. It sleeps up to 22 people. We're really passionate about our area. We think it's so unique to just live on the lake and kind of live that lake lifestyle. There's so many great things that you can do here that you can't just get anywhere, especially in Ohio.
Huron is so nice. I mean, it really is a small town located on the, on the Lake Erie, but, we have obviously huge tourism in the area. So I think it's really nice to stay, like you don't need to stay in a hotel or anything like that. You can come and rent one of the vacation homes that we have, or, anything like that in the area. And I really feel like it gives you a small town feel, but then you can, drive 10 minutes and you'll be, we have every single chain restaurant and things like that also. But staying in Huron is just, I feel like when you're here, you're just part of the neighborhood.
Okay, you can book your kayak and paddleboard time online through Lake Erie Adventures. And you can also find out more information when it comes to booking your stay at one of their many properties in town.
When you're in Huron and you head just a bit out of town, you'll find a hidden gem for plants, vegetables, herbs, and a whole lot more. Check out Mulberry Creek Herb Farm.
Mulberry Creek Herb Farm is this crazy oasis with 1,000 varieties in the springtime. So we're a small footprint, but we have herbs and vegetables and succulents and houseplants and just weird stuff that other places do not have. This was actually our family's grain farm. We are right in the middle of a grain farm, and so back in 1993, we kind of carved out a spot in the corner of a soybean field and literally, scraped it out. We put up a house. Mark put up the first greenhouse that winter, in the winter, by himself for the most part, and that's how it began. We have about 320 herbs, and part of it is because we have 18 different rosemaries. And they actually all have different tastes. I always tell people, smell it. If you like the smell, you're gonna like the taste. So some of the rosemary is more like turpentine. There's one I don't like, but a lot of people do. And one of them's more like a lemon. So we have a lot of that. We have like 30 different types. But then we have some weird stuff like papalo and papicha that are the Central and South Americans' version of our cilantro. We do have a few medicinal herbs, but we largely have full sun, flat land, perfect and well-draining soil, perfect conditions for Mediterranean herbs, so the cooking herbs.
Bonsai, you know, everyone's familiar with the look of a tree. When you do competitions, there's also what's called the accent plant. And the accent plant is complementary to your big specimen tree, and we've got the largest collection in the country for that. The hanging baskets that we have, I really like to do succulent baskets. You can't kill them. Unlike, you know, begonia or impatient basket that's dead by the beginning of August, ours lasts through the entire year. The baskets that the other baskets, the flowering baskets that we do, are mainly pollinators. We don't do impatiens, for example, or petunias. They're not good pollinators. So we focus on the plants in the hanging baskets that are good pollinators.
If you come in here off the street and you don't know a stinking thing about plants, we can help you every step of the way. And our staff can too. I'm just not talking just myself and Mark. Our staff has years of gardening and cooking experience.
The train. We do an herb fair each year, and one year we did Germany for an herb fair theme. I'm born in Munich, so it was required. And probably the main thing in the train world that known for is LGB, which is a German garden railroad company. And so we borrowed track from a dear friend of ours, and we put it up just as a temporary display in the garden. And lo and behold, it was a hit.
If you are a 30-something mom and your kids are picky with their eating, get their butts out there. And we have been told time and again, if they are growing it with them, they will eat it more.
I'm really proud that we do everything certified organic, and I think that we show that yes, you can grow beautiful plants that last long in the garden, that really hold up, that are not grown with the water-soluble fertilizers.
Mulberry Creek Herb Farm is on Bogart Road, and you can check them out online to learn about upcoming events that they have all year long. Okay, when we come back, how you can do a little bit of shopping in Huron while giving back to others.
Road trips, recipes, and much more. Go to fox8.com and click on the New Day Cleveland tab.
Welcome back. It is a small shop on a big mission. You can pick up something new or new to you and give back to kids. This is When Pigs Fly by the Lake.
When Pigs Fly by the Lake is a retail resale shop. Our flagship store is in Norwalk, Ohio, and mine is quite a bit smaller, but the mission is still the same. The profits, 92% of our profits, go to help families when there's a life-threatening illness to bring joy to their kids. The name, the Piggyback Foundation, we support and carry families through hard times, and every kid loves a piggyback ride. So the store, the concept is that we take in donations. About 50% of this room is donated. We upcycle, stage beautifully, and hope people will buy it. Well, I'm a counselor. I'm a school counselor. I like kids a lot. I have 6. On summer vacation and school vacations, I had wanted to do something, and decorating is a passion of mine. And so I found out about the store in Norwalk and volunteered. And that was for about 6 years, and then I was on the board for a while. This is our adopted hometown. We love it here. Erie County is a county that I thought maybe the foundation could expand in. Now, we do serve families in a 60-mile radius. However, I thought if people in Huron learned about the foundation through the shop, that would, move the foundation forward. The smaller of the 2 rooms, everything is new. Clothing, jewelry, accessories, hand soaps, those things are purchased. And then in this bigger part, we do take the donations, we do upcycle, and so it looks a little crowded, but it gives customers a lot to see and a lot to choose from. We have locally sourced honey. We love bees here at the foundation. We have napkins, pillows, signs, so you'll find a lot of bee items. A lot of color. I do love the color teal, so you're going to find a lot of things that are teal. And I do love when we get donations of antiques, those types of things that we can mix in with new things. You never know what you're going to find. If you came on Wednesday, you might find something different on Saturday. So I think it's just a really unique opportunity to see a cool shop that has a wonderful mission. I did not realize that I would make friends by greeting people and getting to know them, and really this is an extension of my home. And so when they come in, I have classical music playing, I have candles so that it smells good. It is crowded like my house, and so I just feel like my friends are coming to visit.
Along with shopping, you can also support the mission at When Pigs Fly by the Lake by donating items that you no longer want. She's always looking for dishes, glassware, antiques, and other small decor items.
No trip to Huron is complete without spending time enjoying live music along the water or taking in another family-friendly event. We're exploring all the Huron Boat Basin has to offer, and the amphitheater too.
We're here at the Huron Boat Basin and Amphitheater. We're a municipal marina, publicly owned, run by our Parks and Recreation Department. So we have transient and seasonal dockage here. We specialize in boating groups coming in for a day, overnight, or a weekend. So a lot of people are a popular spot to go and walk to town and shops and some restaurants and taverns. We have a small outdoor amphitheater. We have special events throughout the whole summer, concerts on Saturdays, which we call Boppin' on the Basin, festivals on the weekends. We have a movies by the river for families, and we have an arts in the amphitheater on Sundays. It's a really good family-friendly atmosphere. Everything's free that we put on for our special events. Everyone can come down, either you come down early to grab something to eat at one of our restaurants or stay later, and then maybe want to visit one of our taverns. A lot of public parking. You could start here and walk to some different places, to restaurants and shops. So it's a really good, easy, accessible place along the Huron River. On the east side of the river, we have a launch ramp, the Huron River fishing launch ramp. We just opened a few weeks ago a public fish cleaning station, one of the only 3 in the state of Ohio right now, funded by ODNR. We partnered with ODNR. It's managed and maintained by our Huron Parks and Recreation Department. We have 4 lane ramps, 156 trailable parkings. We are a host to a lot of tournaments. We're definitely known throughout the country for our fall walleye fishing, and it's a really popular spot for anglers. We really do have really good marinas and access to the water here. We talked about our public ramp, but we have a host of marinas that are accessible to get out on the lake and enjoy a great day of boating, pleasure boating, fishing, tubing, whatever boating that you like to do. Definitely Huron has a spot for you. We want people to come to Huron, experience a lot of the local park systems. We have 3 beaches, we have baseball fields and park-like settings. We have connectability to all of our biking and trails and walking. So we really want people to come out and enjoy the scenery that Huron has to offer. So you definitely need to take in a sunset at Lakefront Park. You need to take in a sunrise at Nickaplate Beach and just walk the beach in the mornings. And then you need to end the day on Main Street and checking out one of our local restaurants or taverns. We hope you leave Huron with a sense of community. You can feel it with the community, the neighbors. Everyone's going to invite and welcome you with a hello and ask you how you're doing. So hopefully you walk away from Huron with just a sense of community pride that we have in Huron.
Make sure you visit the Huron Parks and Recreation Department online for a list of upcoming events. When we return, we're taking a bite out of some classic home-cooked meals in Huron.
For nearly 80 years, Berardis has been serving up home-cooked meals to visitors in the area, and they are especially known for their fries. Take a look and you'll see why.
Berardis Family Restaurant in Huron. We are a family-owned restaurant who's been serving the local community for over 80 years, and we have kind of grown our name at Cedar Point with the famous French fries, and we've established a couple restaurants to build on top of that. It started back in 1942 at Cedar Point, where my great-grandmother and my grandfather started Berardis French fries, and they were at the park for about 37 years. Until we opened up 2 restaurants, one in Sandusky, one here in Huron, where we've been serving the community ever since. We do all 3 meals. We do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And until 1 o'clock on Sundays. And we do a lot of just everything's homemade. We cook everything here. We do our best to make our food speak for itself, and our service follow that up really well. And we just are always aiming to take good care of the people that are here taking care of us. And obviously our French fries. They're famous because they are a nice, really thick cut fry with a good quality potato and a good oil and 80 years of experience, and making sure that they're fresh and hot and delicious.
Napa salad. Yep. With chicken.
I would say our most popular breakfast item is probably our home fry heaven. It's a layered dish with home fries, eggs, cheddar cheese, and our homemade sausage gravy. Some of our more popular items are definitely the Lake Erie yellow perch. People come from all over for the Lake Erie perch. It's popular, it's fresh, and we're one of the few places that do it well on a consistent basis. We also are famous for some of our Italian dishes, such as our lasagna, the chicken parmesan. We have a lot of family recipes that have been passed down over the years. My grandma was famous for her Granny Smith apple pie, and I think popular to all of them is our chocolate chip cookies, which, you know, people come in all day long and really, you know, enjoy those. They're going to leave happy, and they're going to leave taken care of. They're going to leave with full stomachs, and we're cooking with real food. We're not, you know, nothing's coming out of a box here. My favorite part of what we do here is really just, you know, seeing smiles on people's faces when they leave. We want people to be welcomed. We want them to feel really comfortable, and we want them to just leave happy. That's what we're here for. Is, you know, people come for the food, but they come back for the service. So that's really central to our whole philosophy.
Berardis is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day but Monday, and they do have a location that's in Sandusky as well.
Earlier, we took you to Sheldon Marsh. Now we're heading to the other side of town for another tour of nature at Old Woman Creek.
Old Woman Creek is a National Estuarine Research Reserve, which is a multi-government partnership. So our federal partner is NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and our state partner is Ohio Department of Natural Resources. And we are a national estuary, so 2 bodies of water, Lake Erie and Old Woman Creek, meeting and mixing and providing this great natural habitat. There's 30 national estuaries throughout the United States, and there are only 2 in the Great Lakes, us at Old Woman Creek and Lake Erie, and Lake Superior has one as well. And their role is to monitor the water so that we know kind of what the water quality is. We've been doing that here for 40 years, and also to provide some stabilization and protection of the land and the water. So how are those 2 interfacing, and how can we best manage and protect those natural resources? The trails outside are open every day, sunrise to sunset, and they're here for everyone. This is one of Ohio's true great places to come see. It's a unique habitat, and it's open every day. The trails are small because this is also a state nature preserve, so we try to kind of manage the human impact, but they go through all of our habitats, so forest, meadow, and wetland. We have an overlook that you can walk down to and just look at the wetlands, see the birds, you can see fish, you can see the plants growing in the water, and then, like I said, we have this visitor center in which we have some live animals, so you can see who would be outside if you can't get out there, and if you just kind of want to see some some of our creatures moving around, this is a great place to do that. We also highlight some of the history of this area and how that has impacted what Old Woman Creek has become. We do have a surveyor's map from 1808 that shows that it was already called Old Woman Creek. By that time, there are some legends that exist, but mostly it was an indigenous woman's area, and her name was difficult to say, so they just kind of called it Old Woman Creek after that. You can still see a lot of water birds. You might see this big white one behind me. That is a trumpeter swan. It's my current favorite bird. We do have a pair swimming around out there, but you know, some of your usual waterfowl, ducks, great blue herons, great egrets. We have a large population of wood duck back here, which are very cute. But you'll also see all of your kind of Ohio mammals. We have a beaver lodge, we have muskrat, we have deer, fox, all of those kind of usual suspects. And then we do have some reptiles around. We don't have any venomous snakes in this part of Ohio, so you don't have to be worried about that. We have the eastern fox snake, which we have a live one in the visitor center here. They're very docile and they're very helpful with rodent control. And then we have a large fish population. So kind of, again, your usual suspects. Bluegill, other sunfish. We have caught gar this season and rock bass, so lots of different species coming here. They use this as a spawning area so that the little fish have a chance to be in calm water before they head out into the lake. So it's, again, really important kind of habitat that you'll get all of these animals in one spot. We do have a beach access in addition to our trail system, and it's a strolling beach, it's not a swimming beach, even though this time of year we start to think about our swimming in Lake Erie, but it's a great place to just see the lake shore, sit down and kind of take in the view and look at our great natural resource of Lake Erie. Part of what I love about my job as the education coordinator is I get to share this kind of hidden gem, which a lot of people, every day I get people that come by and say, oh, I never knew this place was here.
You can visit Old Woman Creek any day of the week, but keep in mind the visitor center is closed on Mondays. Still to come, a great way to take a deep breath and relax during your visit to Huron.
No road trip is complete without some shopping, and at Kayla Brook you will find all sorts of fun styles for the kiddos.
Kayla Brook is a little boutique in Huron, and we specialize in kids clothing, so boys and girls from infant all the way up, and we also have a mama line, so clothing for adults as well. Kayla Brook is a mixture of all of my girls' names. It is Kaylin, she's 12, Ella is 5, and then Brooke is 15. So I kind of combined their names together to get Kayla Brook Mom and Kids Boutique. When it comes to really the kids line, we try to base it on stuff that's helpful for the moms, along with also things that we know that the kids will love. Like fun patterns, but then again also ease for the moms as far as a little boy's suit, but it's a one piece, you know, to make life a little bit easier for the moms. But when it comes to clothing for the moms themselves, we definitely focus more on comfort yet trendy. As we all know, as all moms know, we like to be comfortable, but yet still look cute. That is our main focus. We have all of the super soft material, stretchy, things like that, but it also still makes you feel good and look good at the same time. We have tons of accessories because we know little girls love the accessories. So we have purses and bows and little hair clips with little, you know, hair tinsel. We have Evelyn Bauer bracelets and decals. Evelyn was a kindergartner in Huron that lost her life due to pediatric sepsis. Her parents have established a scholarship fund for seniors at the Huron High School. So we sell these little bracelets for $1. All of the money made goes towards the scholarship fund for sweet little Evelyn. We try to be able to have to where people can come here if they want to shop for like a birthday, like if they have a birthday party coming or something. We try to have like little books and base things on local, like Ohio, or support other local businesses. And then of course we have a big candy selection, because you can't have a kids boutique without candy. Definitely the support from the other small businesses around here has been amazing and so helpful, and we all kind of support each other, especially those on the same street where we're at and everything. We're always sharing our Facebook posts and telling others, like if somebody comes in here, oh, make sure you stop over here, you know, just to kind of give that community support, because I feel like that's huge in small communities like this. I love it. I was online for I would say a year or so, and my friend owns a salon next door, so she had this little, you know, space and offered it up to me, and it's super exciting. I literally put my whole heart into it, and my girls are helpful. My husband is super helpful. My neighbor, she's super helpful. My daughter, she'll actually come. A lot of them actually work here with me, and we'll be just sitting here tagging things, and it's truly a family business, and that's what makes it so awesome and has my heart truly.
Kayla Brook is on Main Street, and you can be sure to keep an eye out on their social media for any upcoming events that they have.
Taking care of yourself mentally and physically right on the shores of Lake Erie. At Serenity Sounds Yoga, you can practice downward dog with your toes in the sand.
So I started Serenity Sounds Yoga back in 2018, and it's pretty much what I think of yoga as being. I started yoga because of the physical benefits of it, and what I got was more mental benefits. So after I'd practiced for a while and I started teaching, I brought that into the name of my company, Serenity Sounds Yoga. The sounds part comes from singing bowls. The very first year I picked up yoga, I went to a retreat and they had these singing bowls. And just the sound of them puts you in a different mental state. Turn the palms out, and as you exhale, press the hands down. I think when you think studio, you think that picture of yoga in the magazine, right? And that's not really what I teach. I teach you adjusting the poses to you rather than your body adjusting to the poses. It is about moving, it is about connecting, it is about really being in your own body rather than being in that picture on the magazine. A yoga class with me, you don't have to have years of experience. I like to walk you through a process step by step with each breath, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in Warrior 1. You find yourself in Warrior 2. And you're not even quite sure how you got there sometimes, but you're there. And even more importantly, when you're out on the beach, it brings in that feeling of nature and calmness and just a little bit of fun. Inhale, let the fingertips float all the way back up. As you exhale, forward fold. I took classes with Maria Santaferraro of Daily Downward Dog, who originally started all of this beach yoga here in the Vermilion and Huron area. And I took my 200 hour from her. And I started teaching that summer, subbing right here on this beach. And from there, I slowly transitioned from a corporate job to a part-time job, teaching more yoga classes, to I do this full-time now. This is my days. Sometimes I'm out at the beach. Sometimes I'm surrounded by singing bowls in a building. And it's all just about being happy with where you are.
Well, that's going to do it for our trip here to Huron. We sure hope you plan to visit there this summer, that you've enjoyed this hour. And of course, there's so much more to do than we could even put in the show.
Yeah, and of course, you can find a full list of all the places we visited today on fox8.com. And if you have any ideas you want to share with us, suggestions, well, just contact us on social media and we'll take care of that.
Of course.
Yes. I'm David Moss.
I'm Natalie Herbeck.
And we'll see you on the next
New Day Cleveland.